Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smith of the Black Channel here at Ticker Talker, and we've got the election kind of behind us. Let's take a look here. They ripping. What they're talking about here is it's more important that what we're seeing here is that there was no blue wave with the Senate staying red. Here we go. So SPY comes out here, and you can see here taking out last week's highs. All right, that was nice here. So you do have your reversal on the weekly upper middle. This is a two down by taking that down, and then right here, as soon as it took this out, 342.98, trading 347.54, and the good thing is it opened and moved through it, so you could get a hold of that. What we did have is a bit of a divergence in the morning because you had that, and then you had the small cappers actually gapped down and then came back up here, and you'll see this. There's a few things we look for, right? The inside 60 after an outside 60. All right, they were willing to sell down and pay up, and then they met in the middle, and boom, took them into the highs. You can also see this weekly up here in the upper middle here. And so once this breaks above 161.37, there's your reversal right there. Right there. Right now, we had something we call a simultaneous break. And what that means is that you're going to see everything breaking in the same direction, and that could be on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, 60-minute basis. It can be a concentration of either all the broader averages. It can even be sector specific. But what we just saw here is you'll notice this in the lower left, the inside 60 for the small cappers. We also had QQQ inside 60, break to the upside. The Dow Jones Diamonds here, and then the SPY. All four. That's called a simultaneous break. Those are tough to reverse. Now this is only an hourly, right? But what that's also trying to do is cause weekly breaks back to the upside. So we want to pay attention to that, and that's why I tweet out the gorilla ring and the triangle, because that's for an hour they're sitting there doing nothing, and you want to be able to identify that and say, okay, these things are consolidating, doing nothing by not being able to take out the previous high or low. Then when they all go and they start to break at the same time, yeah, that's a good signal. You can take that, and it worked pretty well. What we're seeing is a high concentration into drugs and bio, and so you see your XLV and your healthcares. Healthcare just blasting off here. Healthcare, boom, and you can see this opens here and then travels through here on the weekly. Right, that's good. You can take that break immediately when it breaks 107.08, trading 111.30. Not bad on that. If you go to Labu, in Labu, simultaneous break, but couldn't make it out of here. So these two bars are still inside on this. However, trying to take out last month's highs, and definitely took out last week's highs here after taking out the lows. There's your outside bar, and then boom, coming up through that kind of stuff. So a whole bunch over there. We've got BIIB, Alzheimer's drug, and now it's inside on the 60 here. All right, and you can see this green on all time frames triggers the weekly break here, right there. And you can see it was real fast, and that's going to be fair because it was news, but you just want to be able to identify what to look for. So you can see this going down, down, and then boom, the reversal right here when it took out 264.18 right there on the week, and trading 345 if you're fast enough. But it was a little fast, but that's why we can break it down to something like this right here. You're inside 15. The measured move, the up, the sideways, and bam. And now we'll see what this 60 wants to do. Still broader averages trying to go to the highs. You've got blue. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of bios and drugs. Blue here. Once again, you can see this weekly. When it takes that out, now you can go down to the lower middle and see if you can take out that month. But here's your reversal on this. Still going. We'll see if this sets up again. And you'll see something like you're inside 30. Inside 60 broke up with the Labu and still going. All right, if we go to ARCT here, because we want to be looking at these combinations. Here you can see the inside week to the break to the upside, triggered on the inside day in the upper left, and that takes out last month's highs. All right, so that's trying to see if we can get them all the way up and take out those highs. Watching these things trying to cool off just a tad. You've got HZNP. And HZNP, another ripper here. Potential outside month. Here you can see this. It took out the lows and now coming back through, right? And you can see this here on the weekly, the inside week. It poked down and went inside day, right? and then boom, back to the previous range. That's what we look for. We want to come back through this previous range because now you're going to see something like this on the daily. See the lower low? And now you got your higher high for your broadening formation here. Now to see if we can come through that and get pick up some more strength here, because potentially an outside month, we can watch that with all these druggies that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Lilly here, nice, boom. You can see this coming back up, and here's where it breaks that last week's highs, right? That's a reversal. 2 down, 2 up. When it broke 140, 228, trading 151, not bad, because you can see it traveled through there a little quick, but the important part is why we keep up all these time frames, so we can know to take it right there, right when it starts blasting through there. You can take that. See if you get anything in the 15. A little fast on that, but we'll see. If we go to GBT, and GBT, once again, gives you the outside week and potential outside month. Nice blast and move, but a little choppy here on the way up, so we'll see if we can get anything out of that. Inside 30 right now, we'll see. This broader average is still holding all these mighty gains. If you go to ARWR, here, ARWR, once again, last month took out the highs. Taking out last week's highs, just got some exhaustion risk in here as you're going into new recent highs. But you have been higher. If you look at that monthly, it's been higher in the past. We'll see if they want to take her all the way back up. If we go to AbbVie, and AbbVie, the 2-2-month reversal here, right? Coming up and here on the weekly and coming back to previous range. Getting a little grindy in here, but we'll see if that sets up, because that's what we want for the rest of the month. That's a reversal to the upside with a little bit more room to go, and for the rest of the week, coming back through that. If we go to UNH, right? UNH, because that's got Dow Jones and XLV working it, right? It's very nice stuff right there. So, but if you go back to UNH, here was a reversal here, right? Two down, boom, here when it takes out 327.75, all right? So you had a little bit of a gap here, so you couldn't have grabbed that, and that's why we look at the multiple time frames. So you could find a way in there because you got stuff like ANTM here, just went inside in the 60 right here in the lower left, right? And so that here, coming through here, and that was 308.25. It gapped up above that. And so one of the ways you can do that is once you have that reversal, you'll notice here the very slight shadow wick down here below. As soon as that ticks back into the green, you can take it right there because you have full time frame continuity upside. If we go to Cigna, Cigna coming up here, and Cigna, we like this too. You can see it gapped up here, coming back through this previous range, right, and got some more room for the highs where other things are blasting into the highs. You also notice on the daily how it did this. The inside day reversal, still good, and wham, off to the races she goes. We've got a little guy, Sava. Sava going to the highs, holding as an inside 60 per chance. You can see that reversal here once again on the weekly, back through the previous range. That's good. If we go to APLS, I mean, you can see it's pert near everybody over here. So APLS gives you the outside week, and it's taking out last month's highs. Nice push here, and you can see that once again the simultaneous break. The inside 60s, they all broke at the same time. The outside, inside, and bam, some bigger than others. But it's definitely something you want to look for. When you have all these inside 60s across the board, very good signals come out of that stuff. If we go to some of the usual suspects, I guess we can go to the Facebook. Here, Facebook taking out last month's highs now. That's an inside month to the upside here. Above 285.24, right? Nice move inside day, and then blast through the previous range. You got Octa coming up here, like so, and we're looking to see if that monthly. Remember, we had a bunch of these monthlies break down, but we knew that we had an election coming, and we're just starting off the new month, right? So a lot of these things reversing back higher, as you can see. Octa is now an outside week off the inside day, and then back through this range, which gives you the broadening formation like this. Lower low, higher high. The question is going to be strong enough to keep coming back through stuff like that. If we go to the Googs, why not the Googs? The Googs. There you go. days here, stuck inside here, but then picking up some steam like everybody else. Stalling out just a tad up there. KLAC in the semis going to the highs. And you can see that. Here, the reversal on the weekly was right here. You see? As soon as it broke above 204.08, now it's trading 220. And you'll notice this inside day here in the upper left. Help take that up. If we go to CDW coming out of last month's, over last month's highs, and here's your reversal on the weekly here, right? As soon as it breaks above 129.61, trade 135.21. We still got some week left. Broader average is still trying to gun towards the highs. We also had some home builders coming up here. XHB, there's your inside 60, right? There's your reversal on the week right here. Two down, boom, here over 55.24, trading 56.68, and that tells you to look at like Toll Brothers here. Just coming up through there. We'll see if there's another rebreak. Now trying to take a 60. DHI was coming up here a bit too. Now we've got these inside 60s just kind of stalling up, but you do have all these weekly breaks to keep an eye on. Now we also want to be aware that there's news at any time about any states being declared, and the president tweeting out he's probably going to contest this thing if he loses. There he definitely is. So that we want to be aware that you got some headline risk out there, right? On the downside, not too much. You got Autodesk was kind of struggling here, inside 60 here, and looking to see if we can get an outside day out of this thing. Right now, you're fighting the monthly and the weekly. We're aware of that, but anytime you have a bright red like this and you come into a previous range, we want to see what this 60 does. Does it go and finish it off and become the outside bar? Or are they going to try and hold on to this thing? And we'll see. If we go to VNO and the REITs, some of this stuff coming back. VNO trying to go inside 60 down right now. Here, right? You see that still green on the week, but failing to hold up in there. Still inside monther, but bright red on the day, and not everybody can say that in this environment. We had the guns coming down, RGR. And RGR, you can see this here on the daily. As soon as it broke that, there's your reversal. Two up into to recent highs, and then bam, back to the previous range. Now trying to firm up a little bit. We'll see if that sets up again, because once again on the monthly, you can see that here. Trying to go outside after an inside month, right? So this thing's in trouble. That tells us SWBI. Here, can also look at that. Smith & Wesson having some problems, taking out last week's lows. Trying to go inside month to the downside here. So we'll pay attention to that. Facebook goes to the highs. You also had some China picking up some steam. JD going to the highs. You have Baidu going to the highs right now. Like so. So we got a whole bunch of rippers out there to keep an eye on. On the downside, still a little bit JCI. And JCI coming here is the reversal on the daily right here when it broke this. Higher high coming back to previous range as soon as it breaks this 43.40. Now we'll see if we can get anything more out of that. A lot of these were pretty quick, but we'll see. Cat Tractor just kind of gapping and sitting right now, so but anything to the downside certainly gets our attention if this market weakens at all, which it is not. It does not. Most things are breaking to the upside. URI, they tried to nail this thing, now just kind of sitting here, because you can see on this weekly that's still good. We went up in here, couldn't quite take that out, but it's still green on that, and still a reversal on the 2. So maybe tomorrow you see here, and then you can get a 2-2 reversal back up. Always want to be looking forward. Fox A having some problems. Here's your reversal on the daily. This is a 2 up. Now these two look to become an outside bar of all that, which would be showing up on your weekly. All right. If you go to NXST. And NXST having some issues here. Outside day to the downside. They got them good in here. Still inside on the week, so we'll see. Just anything bright red always gets our attention, right? So we like. Yeah, gold. And gold in general not doing much here, right? We want to watch this inside month, but then the good thing is you can go to something more levered like JNOG here. The 2 down, the 2 up, 60, and then boom, right here to go powering into the lows. You have a reversal here on the daily there. Still not doing much on the month or the week. So as right now, also have a little strength in the energies. You got Lulu going to highs. There's a whole bunch out there. So knowing what to look for and continuation patterns is important. Knowing to look for those simultaneous breaks and then looking where the concentration is. You can see it's handily into the drugs and the bio and the healthcare. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith & Black Channel here. Take your talk with Strat Time Report.